going to switch gears for a minute and just talk about small backyard flocks. They contribute to our local poultry industry, whether it's in an economic sense and a learning in different ways. What's an aspect that small backyard flocks could look at from a biosecurity perspective, or what's an element that you think is often overlooked small backyard flocks when it comes to biosecurity?
The first element that's overlooked is actually the concept of biosecurity. This is a word that is new-ish to them. It's not part of their everyday vocabulary. They're likely doing steps that are biosecurity, but when push comes to shove, when we have a foreign animal disease outbreak, then that's a new word thrown at them. So that's really one of the first hurdles is biosecurity is not a scary concept. There's a lot of components that you're already doing, but just sort of packaging that concept with them. And then the second, probably biggest step they can take, and where we've seen most of the infections occurring, is with domestic birds in our backyards that are co-mingling in some fashion with a wild bird. And that's what we were seeing in 2022. But that co-mingling is one of those biosecurity concepts that we as people can prevent. So that's probably the biggest step that those backyard and small flock owners can take.
With our small backyard flocks, and where there's that thread of co-mingling between our birds and the wild bird, how can we prevent that? How can we reduce that risk?
The first step a backyard owner could take is just to be observational, understanding and knowing where some of those wild birds might linger, where they would visit. If they have ponds or streams near their own home, drainage ponds, especially in suburbs. So being observational, knowing where those wild birds might be spending time, and then knowing where their boundaries are for their bird. So that might be they need to not free range their birds for a while because their birds might enter into a space where wild birds also have been habitating. It could be using a chicken tractor is what they call them, so that they don't have any exposure from an aerial bird coming down. Keeping birds in coops. Some states have requested that producers keep their birds locked up for a period of time, but really just being observational, knowing where the wild birds are, and then making sure you can set perimeters, boundaries, fences, what have you, so that your birds do not enter that same space.